now and previously. Sin has a stupid and evil disposition toward beings as nature. Merit has a pure and good disposition in favor of beings as nature. Bondage has attachment to dharmas as nature. Liberation has detachment from dharmas as nature. The Buddha has as nature the actual unimpeded knowledge of all dharmas. Thus all dharmas each has its own nature. The fact of being without a specific nature. Furthermore, the Bodhisattva sees that all dharmas are without nature. Actually, all the characteristics are coming from a complex of causes and conditions, and, as they have no self-nature, they do not exist. Thus, although there is earth, the coming together is needed of four dharmas: color, smell, taste and touchable. It is not solely due to odor or taste or touchable that there is earth. Why? If color alone constituted the earth, the other three dharmas would not be the earth, and the earth would be without smell, taste and touchable, and it is the same for smell, taste or touchable if each of them were enough to constitute earth. Furthermore, how could the other four dharmas, color, smell, taste and touchable, make only one earth? And how could this single dharma make four? This is why it is not possible that the four dharmas are the earth, or that the earth exists outside of the four dharmas. Question. I say it is not true that the four dharmas are earth, but that it is only because of the four dharmas that earth exists, and that earth resides in these four dharmas. Answer. If earth is the result of the four dharmas, earth is different from the four dharmas in the same way that a son, the result of his parents, is different from his parents. Now the eye perceives color, the nose smells odors, the tongue tastes flavors, and the body feels tangibles. If earth were different from the four dharmas, color, etc., there must be a special organ and a special consciousness to cognize it. Since there is neither special organ or special consciousness to cognize it, there is no earth. Question. Then the specific characteristic of earth, namely, solidity and heaviness, of which you spoke above, should define the nature of earth in conformity with the Abhidharma. Earth is a substance derived from the four great elements. Just the element earth has solidity as nature. Earth, in the ordinary sense of the word, is a visible color. Answer. Above we stated the flaws that oppose earth being just color. Earth has solidity as nature. If it were only color perceived by the eye, it would be like the moon reflected in water, a reflection in a mirror, a piece of straw. Thus it would have no solidity. Being solid, it is known to the touch by the organ of the body. Furthermore, if the visibility of earth were confused with its solidity, the visibility of the element earth would also be confused with the wetness of water and the heat of fire, and would constitute the element water and the element fire. In that case, there would be no distinction between wind and the element wind, which, however, it is appropriate to distinguish. If you say, what is wind in relation to the element wind? What is the element wind in relation to wind? If they are identical, two distinct principles should not be asserted. We would reply that, if they are without any difference, earth and the element earth also are without difference. Question. The four great elements are inseparable from one another. In earth there are the four elements. In water, in fire and in wind, likewise. But as in earth, it is the element earth that predominates, therefore it is called earth. And it is the same for water, fire and wind. Answer. That is not correct. Why? The four great elements present in fire should all be hot, for there is no fire without heat. If the three great elements, earth, water and wind, that are found in fire were not hot, they would not be called fire. If they were hot, they would lose their own nature and would all be called fire. If you say that this heat is not perceived because of its subtlety, we would say that it would be no different from pure and simple non-existence. It is necessary that a coarse element be perceived in order that one could thereby deduce a subtle element. But without coarse element, there is no subtle element. For these various reasons, the specific nature of earth is non-existent, and if the nature of earth does not exist, neither does that of the other dharmas. Therefore all dharmas have this absence of nature as their identical nature. Question. You cannot say that they are without nature. Why? Because the absence of nature in every dharma is a nature. Without this absence of nature, you could not deny all nature to dharmas. Why? Because there would not be absence of nature. But if this absence of nature does exist, you could not say that all dharmas are without nature. Answer. We refuse to apostatize this absence of nature. It is because they are without nature that we deny any nature to dharmas, including absence of nature. If they had as nature this absence of nature, that would be to return to attributing natures to dharmas. Since we do not recognize any nature in dharmas, no objection can be made to the lack of nature that we are assuming as our thesis. Purely negative lack which, after having destroyed any nature of dharma, also destroys itself, like the smoldering ember which, having used up all the kindling, then burns itself up. This is why the saint practices the animatanyumita samadhi which, after having destroyed all the characteristics, destroys the without characteristics itself. Other identical natures in all dharmas. Finally, the bodhisattva sees all dharmas as being without cohesion or dispersion, without color or shape, non-resistant, ineffable and unspeakable, of unique nature, i.e., without nature. These are the identical natures found in every dharma. Now how does the bodhisattva see the multiple natures? 2. Multiple natures. Groups of 2 dharmas. All dharmas are classed into 2 categories. Name and form. Material and non-material. Visible and invisible. Resistant and non-resistant. Impure and pure. Conditioned and unconditioned, etc. The 200 groups of 2 dharmas are listed in the chapter on the 1,000 difficulties. There are other groups of 2 dharmas. Patience and harmony. Veneration and worship. Material generosity and generosity of the dharma. Speculative power and power of practice of the path. Perfection of morality and perfection of right view. Simplicity, sincerity and gentleness, kindness. Concentrations in knowledge. Intelligence and eloquence. Worldly dharma and absolute dharma. Thought and skillfulness. Experiential truth and absolute truth. Temporary liberation and liberation not destroying mind. Sopadisya and Mirapadisya nirvana. End of activity and end of wish. Seeing knowledge and seeing cessation. Conformity with meaning and literal conformity. Moderation and desires and satisfaction. Easy nourishment and easy filling. Dharma and activity conforming to the dharma, knowledge of cessation of vices and knowledge of non-production of vices, as well as innumerable twofold dharmas of the same type.